I'm happy to at least see Aonuma on stage once. I wish Fujibayashi was on stage with him, but that's whatever.
Yeah, he
But
wasn't he wasn't as happy as when he won Breath of the Wild. They were so
yeah,
happy, like
yeah, they were very. Yeah,
they
he looked very like normal. He's like, "Hello, I'm here accepting the award for The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom."
yeah, it was just
Yeah,
like he was paid to be there. Like, I'm just paid to be here. I'm just here so I won't get fined. You know that meme? Like, literally,
yeah,
that's what it felt like. And um, it was just kind of, and then he kind of got off really quickly. Like, okay,
yeah.
no, there's no DLC, there's no anything. Bye bye. You know, like you know, and oh man, dude, I just can't believe Tears of the Kingdom cost $70. Here we are at the end of the year, and I
I'm
literally,
I'm 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 still fine paying $70 for it because I played that game so much. I feel like some of the gameplay in it still rivals a lot of the gameplay that I've played in other games. But I don't know, for me it's all right, but for like I said before, the only problem I had with the game was some of the story stuff, and the story stuff just was like I've been debating about making a video on it and like saying how I really feel about it, but I don't know if I will because I have like other videos planned for the future as well.
yeah,
So
I'm on the fence about that too because I don't think my channel's in a position. I kind of realized this with some like algorithm stuff that I think I'm gonna keep my channel more to like specifically theories.
mm,
That way I could continue to build an audience from there because I don't want to say
yeah.
anything controversial or might push someone the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially not only from the viewer's perspective but also from the algorithm
yeah,
perspective. You know, like I kind of want to keep the videos under one umbrella.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but if you ever do like a review of Tears of the Kingdom or something, don't feel like limited
I
in
will.
your like opinion. Like
I
voice how you truly feel about it.
I definitely will because it's not like I talk crap on Zelda all the time. I've been taking notes, actually, a lot of notes on Tears of the Kingdom, and from like a really like I break it down so like down to like simple concepts, and overall, I my last line of defense with like considering this game to be like one of my top Zelda games, the last line of defense was Nintendo was going to be nice enough to give us Master Mode as free DLC to be announced at the Game Awards, and then I would get to play that before the year ended. I had, I mean, I guess that's where I had all my money in when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom because that I just felt like Tears of the Kingdom just needed a little bit more, and in my opinion, it's still very hard for me to see it worth $70. Like in my mind, actually, I would think like I don't know, since it's like a sequel, Breath of the Wild should have been 70 and Tears of the Kingdom been 60. I don't know. I don't know.
I
That's
don't
like
know. To me, with the
yeah.
additions that they had with the game, the arm abilities that they had in the game really like made it worthwhile for me personally. For me, like content wise, the game is fine, I think. Content wise to me, it is fine aside from maybe some story DLC that could have tied in some loose ends. Because you had the sky, you had the depths, you had the arm abilities, you had the traversals, you had the zonai devices, you had all that. To me, it was fine, and all of it like worked seamlessly and it worked smoothly on the Switch. But to me, I was just like, you could have spent some extra time on the story to like iron things out, make things better in terms of the writing, make things better in terms of the lore, and make things better in terms of the progression with the story. That was my big thing. A lot of the narrative things in the game was like continuity, pacing, progression, writing. I was like, they really kind of dropped the ball there. Everything else, I was like this is the game that Breath of the Wild wanted to be, and for that, like it deserves its praise in that way. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, still like the game a lot. Still had a great experience with it playing it the first time. Um, I kind of wish that I would have played it differently the first time,
mm,
knowing what happened in the game, especially with the
yeah,
memories. how yeah we the story stuff. You also don't like it either. How the memories could be kind of spoilery. Like you could spoil
Yeah.
something that happens. That's like whoa, like you
I
see.
think the even bigger for me was continuity from Breath of the Wild. There are things in Breath of the Wild that they straight up ignore,
Oh yeah,
and there are
like where
things
the
in Breath of the
Sheikah
Wild that
towers were. Yeah,
the Sheikah Towers,
yeah,
and it's not that they ignore some things, they change. Like Bolson doesn't remember Link. Few other various characters, like the people in Hateno Village, don't remember who Link is. There are still people around the world who should know who Link is, but they don't know who he is.
yeah. And you would think because it theoretically, like in the game's world, it's been like 5+ years since Breath of the Wild, so you would think that people would eventually learn. I don't know. I remember I made like a little
Yeah.
rant theory on it where like Tears of the Kingdom is in a separate timeline.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would like
It almost feels that way, but
yeah
like it
I would
isn't.
I would like to explore that further actually. But I wish I had some more evidence to work with because I feel like if I just had one bit of evidence,
That's the thing. That's the
yeah,
thing with
I
the
could.
game. The game, like even the developers have said this. Also, yeah. The developers have said this. They said you can you can draw your own conclusions with this game. You can make your own theories with this game. You can do all that, right? You us as fans and theorists and lore enthusiasts cannot do that with such limited pieces of lore,
Exactly.
such limited pieces of evidence. We can't do that. At that point, it's not fun to make theories. You're not making
Absolutely.
theories, you're making fan fictions. Like literally making fan fictions about the Zonai is not fun when you don't know who and what the Zonai are. And making fan fictions about what happened with the Sheikah Tech is not fun when you don't know what happened to the Sheikah Tech.
Brilliant.
Like,
Keep on going, man. You're like I don't think I could have said it better myself.
I I I just wish I was recording this.
Oh, I wasn't recording this either. I thought I
I wasn't
was.
recording it, but we'll have it. We can like download the whole like live stream later.
Oh
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
get it,
that's
but,
true.
like,
That's true. We do have it on the
but
stream. Yeah.
that's my thing, dude. That's why I love Xenoblade. Xenoblade is so rich with lore. It is
Absolutely.
so meticulous with its writing, and even like, here's the thing, dude. I don't know if Dumb Xeno is still in the chat, but there's some small like little things that Xenoblade has in its like cutscenes or its character dialogue or something. Those small things aren't just random things that they put in. They care about every single thing they put in their game. And even those small little bits of dialogue, it's not just like, oh, think about whatever you want to think about, make your own conclusion or whatever. No, you can like take that small bit of dialogue or like small bit of lore and tie it back to something that like some major event that happened in an older Xenoblade game.
Mm,
And the thing is, there even after many like games in Xenoblade 1, 2, 3, Future Connected, Future Redeemed, Torn of the Golden Country, we still had a lot of questions. But we can go into the games and theorize instead of making fan fictions because there's a lot of evidence to draw a substantial conclusion. And that's what The Legend of Zelda needs. The thing is, I don't want them to deviate their focus from the gameplay at all, but literally just write a story that makes sense, please. It's
absolutely.
it's it's not hard, and it's not like it shouldn't feel like we're asking too much from this.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. Wind Waker did it. Wind Waker had that full intro with that painting. It to the people who say that the timeline doesn't matter, that the lore doesn't matter. Why did Wind Waker have that entire intro sequence where they talk about Ocarina of Time? And
Yeah.
why did Twilight
Yeah.
Princess have an entire segment where you go into the sacred grove, which was the old castle town? You go to the old Temple of Time with the same music as Ocarina of Time, and like And people say that lore doesn't matter in Zelda, story doesn't matter in Zelda, timeline doesn't matter in Zelda. I don't know. Like Breath of the Wild was a decent starting point with this new like open air direction with storytelling,
Right.
but they didn't follow it up well with Tears of the Kingdom, I think. They
Yeah.
just dropped the ball. They said, "Oh, all this things, all the stuff we set up in Breath of the Wild, we don't care anymore."
Yeah. Yeah. And I and
That is my biggest criticism with Tears of the Kingdom. That is the reason why it's not my favorite Switch game and it's not my favorite Zelda game. Otherwise, it's good. Like in that way, Xenoblade 3 has leaps and bounds of a better story than anything I've played Nintendo wise, in my opinion.
mm,
Like Zelda wise, like anything. And for that reason, it's my favorite Switch game.
I think
But
I think it's time. I think it's time for me to hop on Xenoblade.
dude, please, you definitely,
I think
you would love it. You would love it.
I think that was
I,
the best sales pitch you could have ever sold
yeah,
me on
because
Xenoblade.
with you, I've been like thinking, I'm like, with you, you wanted that story from Tears of the Kingdom. I wanted the story from it as well.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm now realizing like Zelda had stories. Of course, they weren't like JRPG, Xenoblade, Final Fantasy level, but they were still good stories. But now it just doesn't seem like they really care anymore. And I'm glad that like Takahashi and Monolith Soft are still like out there making games because like when it comes to Nintendo, and Nintendo related stories, those are the ones I'm going to go to. Maybe like Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem has some good stories here and there, but like it is Xenoblade. Xenoblade is without a doubt the premier like narrative franchise for Nintendo at this point.
Wow. Premier
Yes,
narrative.
100%.
Oh,
I don't see any
wow.
other franchise that tops Xenoblade in its like story. Like Zelda does not, Mario of course does not, Pokemon no, Fire Emblem might come close. Metroid is very different, but no, if you look at Xenoblade, it has the drama, it has the character development, it has the lore, it has the very good writing of like the plot. Like the plot is very well put together with
Wow.
plot twists, with revelations, with like mind-blowing moments. And one game flows to the next game, and it all culminates in the conclusion that is Xenoblade 3 and Future Redeemed. And the payoff for me was amazing. The thing is, don't like don't take my word as gospel because there are a lot of people who hear what I say about Xenoblade, start the series, and then they hate it.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
like my my um my hype for Xenoblade is also like just my bias playing into it as well. So like do your own research as well to see what you think about it as well. But also I do probably got to get going because it's getting late.